You're welcome to our channel. Channel. You're welcome. We're so happy to have you here. And today we want to talk about how we were able to spend less than 1 million naira for our wedding. Now, our wedding did not take place in the city we're living in. No, it took place in a different city. And before I continue, I want to hail him whose honor is due. Abiba no machines. Why they talk that thing? To him who honor is due.
Okay.
The fact that we spent less than 1 million naira was because of just one person.
The conqueror, the emperor, the lioness
The lion,
herself. The lioness herself.
the lioness herself. The reason why we're able to achieve that was because of this sweet,
Gig,
loving,
gig, gig,
intelligent,
gig.
wise, Proverb 31, Deuteronomy 31,
Kí ló wà
Revelation.
nínú Deuteronomy 31? Ẹja wà guided o.
This is my Proverb 31 woman. Yesterday, I posted on my status that God showed me mercy. That's why He gave me mercy.
Hey, lines. Ba. Producer looking for producer. Lines.
So she's going to be sharing with us how she was able to achieve that. Because left to me, that way deal with that.
God forbid, na in bankruptcy. God forbid. Okay, so quickly let's get into this. You know that usually it's the bride's family that determines how big or how small a wedding is going to be. So I knew I had to act, like I have to stand my ground for some things.
Let's back off. Before we even stand our ground, how did we even come to that decision? Because she was one that she started with, when we started planning for the wedding, I think we had to sit down, and one of the things I do is that I don't do, I'm the man of the house. I'm the man of the house.
Actually.
What I say stands. A woman is not woman matter. I don't do that. And I think men, you better listen to your wife if you like yourself. A lot of times women, we there's this pride and ego. Listening to your woman, your fiance, your wife does not make you a weak man, right? God has placed wisdom, the blessing of intuition in her, and there are a lot of things you may not know that she knows. So I think that really helped us, because I had her, in short, at some point I knew that no, she's the driver of this boat, or else.
As in this wedding boat, so not the marriage.
Yeah, the wedding planning. Yeah,
boat.
she was the chairman, and really, I was grateful that our wisdom was just too much. Oh yeah, like it's too much. This forehead is filled of wisdom.
Okay, so you said before we got to the wedding, things
Yeah,
that we
so
did.
yeah.
Okay, so I'll say the first thing is we both decided how much we want to spend. Or let me say how much we were not exceeding. Not like exactly, okay, it's 2K we want to spend. No, okay, but how much are we not exceeding? We're not
That's
exceeding
one.
1 million naira.
Number
We
two.
both decided what we wanted.
Number two, we both decided that we are not borrowing.
Yes, we're not borrowing.
We are not borrowing,
Not borrowing.
for wedding.
Yeah,
we are not
we
starting
both
our wedding
decided we are not borrowing.
by borrowing.
We are not borrowing at all.
Number three, we decided that we are not depending on outside forces. We're just going to plan on what we had.
Yes.
Not planning on what people. A lot of people.
And the funny thing is, talking about that, the funny thing is, all the money, the gifts, the monetary gifts, everything that we got, we spent them after the wedding. We used our own resources for the wedding. So all the extras that we got, we had it for ourselves. So we decided we're using our resources. The money that we have at hand is what we want to use to do wedding. So we're not expecting, okay, one uncle will dash me 15. So if one person did not dash me money, I am not vexed. We are not vexed because we are the one that we decided we are of age, we want to do wedding.
Number four, we decided that we're not going to place pressure on anybody. And not going to use our friends as.
We did not do Ashwebi last.
So
wear your white and your gold gele or something.
Use their wedding to make money.
We're not saying it's wrong to have Ashwebi people or anything, but we did not do it.
and we didn't put pressure on anybody, no bro pressure. We decided that we're going to make it fun for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So now getting into how we're able to do that, a little bit of breakdown. So having stated the fact that we both decided what we wanted. So we were both in agreement already. So the funny thing is, there are times when I get to argue with my parents, my mom, I say this is it. They will call my husband. It's the same thing I saying. So we were both on the same line to start with. So it's not like you want to enter me through you want to enter him through me, or you want to enter me through him. We were on the same page. We decided this
Only
is what
work.
it is happening. This is what we wanted. So the next thing I'll say is, okay, to follow up with that, I'll say I decided in my mind that, see, and this is what I tell a lot of young people that want to get married, and I try to advise is, this moment, my parents do not hate me and I do not disrespect my parents. So, while we were much younger, there were some things our parents stood the ground, like this is what's going to happen, and we probably do not just understand entirely. But over time, we got to understand. Now, it's like it's a flip challenge. Now, it is me that I'm standing this ground, and later on they would understand. So I do not mean any disrespect, and it's not like they hate me. I tell people, no matter how much we argued, if I was telling my husband, they do not hate me, I cannot hate them, they cannot hate me. Wedding will come and wedding will go, we will sort it out. But this one, this is what's going to happen. So that was settled inside of me. So I was not scared of our relationship is going to go bad and my parents will be angry at me. I heard some people say, my parents will be angry at me that we didn't do it that way. It's not true. Your parents cannot hate you. They want a kind of wedding, but it's very important that you guys come to a compromise. They respect you as much as you are going to respect them.
So what she's trying to say is that we had a challenge of our parents insisting they want to pariwo, they
I'm
want to
a
shout.
first child, Yoruba girl. Yoruba girl, I'm
So
a
I'm
first child.
also
So
the
my
first child,
mother
and
wanted to pariwo.
yes, so both parents wanted a big and a loud wedding, like very, very loud. They wanted to spend this, spend that. And here we are, first son
I just
versus
starting out
first
our life.
child. So
Let's be coming down.
so
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 that
we
was
had
it.
to navigate that. We had to communicate, over communicate,
Over
and we
and
have to keep
over and over and
communicating that
over.
this is what we want, and we had to stand our ground. So I think one of the lessons is that the two people involved have to be very, very united. You have to communicate with your partner first, communicate and agree. Not that somebody, one is saying one, the other one is saying another thing, right? That agreement is very, very important. If you
Mm-hmm.
find difficult to agree, you might need to just shift grounds, right? But it's important. What my wife said then was that instead of us spending this much money on wedding, it's better to spend it on the marriage. A lot of people plan and prepare for wedding without preparing for the marriage itself. Wedding is just one day, and people will come, they will
People will.
eat and enjoy
Another wedding
themselves,
will happen again next
and
Saturday.
they
They
will
will
forget
forget they
you.
attended your own wedding. They will eat that one again. Go for
And
another
the
wedding.
beautiful
So
thing is that they would give you no, you can't really impress
you
people.
cannot.
That's just the truth. So don't kill you. If you have the money,
No
it's
problems.
okay.
No
But
sincerity.
people we are even
Getting
talking
into
to,
debt,
for those that
borrowing
don't have, you
money.
don't necessarily have the money. There's no need to put yourself under undue pressure. You don't need to go and borrow money or be putting pressure on other people, right? Whatever you have, you can maximize it. So let me leave it to my chairman here. You know,
Okay.
she's good with
Wait,
managing
wait
resources.
now.
She's skillful. She's gifted
Wait now.
in managing resources. Please
Okay,
go
wait
on, go on,
now.
go on, go on. Let's hear you.
So just like you said, we
Please
said
give
we're
me a
not
book. Let
going
me
to.
write. Me
We
too, I want to
decided we're
learn.
not going to borrow. And for people that know me, before I even got married, like me on my own, I'm this kind of person that can have 1 million and living like I have 100,000. I am that much a minimalist. And then another thing is, this is a principle I'm even trying to outgrow. Is, if I can't buy one thing, if I can't pay for something twice, I decide I cannot afford it yet, so I don't go for it. The only thing I will go to buy is something that I believe I can afford twice. Although I'm trying to outgrow that principle, but then it has really helped my finances. So getting back into the wedding planning whatsoever, the first thing first that we decided, or I stood my ground for my parents, was we're not having 2-day wedding. You know that traditional engagement Friday? Then white wedding and reception Saturday. I told my parents, no
Some
way,
people
it
have
can't
three-day
happen.
wedding.
All the best.
They will have
But my
courts.
mother was even asking
They will
for two
have
days.
traditional wedding. They will not have church wedding. They will not have reception. They will not have after party. Then on Sunday they will not have dedication.
That's what I wanted to
Then
say. My
dedication
mom
party.
wanted 3 days. She wanted Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They are pastors now. So once your daughter does the traditional engagement on Friday, white wedding on Saturday, then Sunday we should still come back to church for Thanksgiving, and we'll
Thursday,
go back home
church wedding.
and go and
Friday,
still
trad.
do small many.
Saturday,
Imagine, na like
church.
that was too much. How did I sort that house? Thank God I was in Abuja at that time. I told my mom that my flight is on Friday. I'm leaving Abuja on Friday afternoon. I get to Okumosho on Friday. We do wedding on Saturday, and I leave again on Sunday. And that was what I did. Okay, no, I think I went on Thursday, not Friday again. I booked my flight for Thursday. That's what I thought. So that was how I was able to manage that. And then moving a little bit forward into that, having just a day wedding. So you're going to think we did engagement early in the morning, then went for church wedding, and then came back for reception. Let me bust your brain. We did church wedding first in the morning. It was traditional engagement and reception that we did together. So I did not even have to sew second dress, reception dress, because traditional was happening at the same time that reception was going
Let's
on.
glean
So
the wisdom.
by
Let's
3
learn the wisdom.
p.m. we're done with our wedding.
Mm. Let's
Church
glean the
wedding
wisdom.
was
Let's glean the wisdom before you rush.
okay.
Let's glean the wisdom.
Okay.
So what she's saying that if you want to minimize
Interpreter.
spending,
Okay.
yes, I need to drive in the message. If you
Interpreter.
want to minimize spending,
Okay.
which now we need to talk about the reason why it's good to minimize spending actually.
Okay.
Because everyone's like, why? Why shouldn't I padu? They must hear our sound. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah. We'll talk about that later. But what she's trying to say that if you want to minimize spending, one of the ways is to reduce the number of days you spend on wedding. The more the days, the more the spending. And sometimes people have to rent halls for 3 days. You will cook for 3 days. You will decorate for 3 days. So people have like 4 different decorations. Then you will wear like 5, 10 different outfits. It's not necessary. Now, if you have the money, it's fine. But if you don't, even if you have the money, you can decide to delay gratification, save off your money for more things. Now, a lot of people think that okay, the money I'm spending is not my money. People gave me. The fact that people gave you the money does not mean you should spend everything. That's something I learned from my wife. Right? The fact that people gave you the money does not mean you should spend everything. People gave you money for wedding, you can save it. They should take people to court for not spending.
I don't know. Okay, now I'm remembering another point though. So before getting to the deliberations of the number of days we're using for wedding, the first thing I did was, because I was fully into fashion designing then, tailoring and selling of fabric. So I felt maybe it's money that you have at hand that you spend. And thank God everybody, including my parents, they know me, I will not borrow money. So I traveled to Aba. I stock up my store with fabrics. The money I had at hand. Sure, you know, if I have the money at hand, I might be tempted to say, it's itching me. It's my wedding. I want to spend. I decided, okay, I have to channel this money into something else so that I reduce the money I had at hand. So I stocked up my store with fabrics. That way, I was able to reduce the chances of me exceeding my budget. So sometimes when you have excess money, sef, look for ways to even like where to put that money so that it can bring you more return, so that you are not tempted to spend way beyond your budget. Do you want to
Okay.
continue?
Yeah, cool. Then it's communication with your family. You must learn to sell the vision, right? Sometimes your family will put pressure on you, but you must be able to communicate why you want to have a minimalist wedding, right? Why you don't want to spend too much on wedding, and so you have to be clear about your why, very, very, by both of you. Then you need to communicate your why, and most times your parents will see reasons why. Now you might have to compromise some things with your parents, right? Because they also, it's their day. That's just the truth, right? You need to honor them, right? But you should know the things you cannot, or you will not you will not go beyond, right? Then another thing I think my wife did, I'm telling you, she's the one who like she's the reason why it was
So what else
successful.
did you do?
One of the things she did was that if our parents said they want something, she would say, okay, My husband is not going to pay for it. You pay for it yourself.
Yeah, actually.
So when our parents saw that, see,
It was
we like say we
really,
are pushing many things on them, but they're like, okay, you know what?
they were now
What have it.
calming down.
So if any
Yeah.
family member comes and say, no, we have to rent white or canopy, no
Rent it
problem.
for us.
Rent
Our
it for
peer
us.
as the bride.
Our peer.
As the bride, our
And those
peer.
strategy really, really helped us. Then another thing is that if you can get a mentor, right, or someone who has done it before to guide you through the process, don't be an island.
You
Get
need
people's
people
engagement,
support.
right?
Yeah.
Support. Then there are people that will volunteer to do some things for you for
For
free, right?
free.
You
Yeah.
can allow it, right? Allow people to support you, allow your friends to support you. It can help you. Pause. We'll continue from